if the cop watch's intention is to make sure that police are obeying people's rights and treating them fairly, wouldn't it be easier to do a public records request and just, you can review as much as on as you want from the comfort of your home? You don't have to worry about getting arrested for jaywalking or being the asshole or anything else like that.
So Justin, it's Jaden. Sorry, it's windy. Phoenix Rising meeting. Oh, so we got the supervisor and the other PD over there. 12:15 and 15:11. So California Check, Phoenix Rising Media, Mason, how y'all doing? I went to the store and I came home to this. What's up, Phoenix Cop Watch? Carlos, James, Oklahoma. How y'all doing?
We know body cams. We know evidence. It's been a proven fact. None of us have been you guys, but officers.
What's your name?
Evidence.
Sergeant Calkins, 13192.
Thank you. It's your policy to identify upon requested, right? Okay. Because the officer I encountered earlier, all he gave me was his name. I didn't get his badge number, and I barely heard his name.
Okay. Well, I can't help it. It's been a fairly windy day. I can't help that. I talked to that officer earlier, and he said that he was trying to give you his information, that you started talking over him, asking other questions that you want to talk to Watchman or stuff like that.
I have it on video.
Well, he has on video too.
Right. I'm just saying, when he said it, I didn't really say much after that until I said, give me a supervisor. But that was because they were following me. And that's, I mean, I don't sit there and follow you guys around. You know what I mean? So why is it okay for your officers to follow me around?
The officer, anybody can follow you around. It's just the way it is. And officers can follow you around. Comments I got, you're upset because they wrote down a license plate number.
Private property.
It's not private property. You're driving around on a public street. Everybody sees your license plate number. Anybody can write it down.
I'm sorry, but where he stepped, I didn't realize that was a street. Well,
No, I'm telling you, when people drive around the street, when you're driving around the street.
I don't see that as a private street, guys.
No, you're not on a private street right now, but when you are on your public street.
Right,
your
which is
license plate's
fine.
everybody.
That's I agree with that, but when I'm on private property in my
But
own
this isn't
home,
like your private property. This is a public property for everybody else who lives here. They were conducting an investigation at the time. He was legally on the property at the time.
and I get that, but why am I part of the
The
investigation?
parking lot like that isn't curtilage that you can claim as your own. The officers don't have right to be there.
Well, I get that. I'm not saying it's my own, and I understand the law. I went and looked it up. But what I'm saying is, if I'm not even part of that investigation, why are they taking time out of their investigation that's going on over there when I have nothing to do with it for them to come and harass me?
Were they harassing you?
Of course, they were stalking me.
I think all they did was write your license plate number down, right?
No, they were stalking me. I have it on video that they were sitting watching my every move for like 5 minutes.
Well, that's when rise the level of stalking. I have to disagree with you there.
Kind of. What's up, Tempe?
The thing is,
Everybody.
when you look up as far as officers taking license plate information on private property, it says they're not supposed to, but that's a broad spectrum and a broad issue.
That has most of the case file that you
investigation.
see about license plates on private property has to do with the actual residents, carports and stuff like that. This is, I mean, yes, those are by definition a carport.
See,
But
I'm
it is
open
not
to
a
that.
carport attached to a residence.
Right.
Or it's curtilage where you cannot go on there.
Right.
You know, what they basically call the mailman rule. There's no area in this apartment complex that would basically be off limits, I guess you'd say, to anybody,
Yeah.
unless they're jumping over your, I don't remember, the little
Well,
patio walls here to get on your.
I will tell you,
patios
the
and
instant guests are allowed on this property, it becomes public parking as well.
I'm sorry, what was that?
The instant guests are allowed on this property to park, it becomes public parking as well, whether there's gates or not.
Right.
And so anybody that parks here could go get any license plate. I understand that, and although I thought it was kind of odd for him to come over, we know why he came over and got the license plate, but it's just, we just found it a little odd because In fairness to you, I'm gonna say we did come in.
Well, I'll piggyback off what you were saying a few minutes ago. You guys are antagonistic. So, and now it's not even a police officer, I'm just saying somebody in basic human nature, when someone's being antagonistic towards you, you want to find out more about that person.
Right.
For instance, you, young man, you flipped me off last week on South Lawnmower when I was driving south.
I did, I was saying
You were
hi.
obviously trying to get a response from me, right?
That's my hello.
Did you see my response?
No, I didn't.
It was a
You were
big
just
smile.
weird.
I didn't even wave, I don't think. It was just a big
Let
smile.
me tell you, I salute you for that.
And
That's,
because stuff like that, I used to work for a bank, when people would call me and yell and cuss, I had the right to hang up on them. They just made my day. If they were yelling and cussing me, because at the time, I enjoyed that stuff. So, if you're being antagonistic towards somebody, you're going to evoke a response where they're going to want to know more about who this person is being
That's
antagonistic.
human nature.
That's what I said, it's human nature. So, if you're, I'm assuming that the conversation you had with the officer was prior to you driving by? I don't know.
yeah, it was after, yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say, it sounds like it was probably after, because they weren't following anybody else around the parking lot, right? Trying to get the license plate, just you after you had a conversation to them.
Well,
that they
no,
thought was possibly
I hadn't
antagonistic.
even made contact before he even came around, and they started following me. I had just gotten home from work. So when they started following me, it was because I looked at them. They were mad that I looked at them.
And maybe it was the look that you gave them, you know?
Well,
Just like maybe you gave them the same look you gave me last week. I don't know, I wasn't here.
But
So,
you didn't follow me. You didn't waste my tax dollars to follow me.
You took it to what it
You
was.
flip me off, I could care less what your finger says.
There you go.
Because it's my rights, correct?
Absolutely, you're right.
There you go. And like I said, you were the bigger man on that night and just kept going. You smiled and kept going. But your officers are obviously not as informed as you were. They just want to look for someone to bully. You just, I can see you don't care about stuff like that, but they...
By taking your plate number, if they get information, they can get information that they can use to come, maybe at a warrant for your arrest or something like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Good luck.
Well, I'm not saying you
No,
don't.
I
I'm
know,
just
I know,
saying-
I'm just...
I mean, we call it low-hanging fruit, you know? You can spend a lot of, like, I can pick a guy out of this parking lot, and I'll just go run his license plate, find out information about him, just hoping I can find something criminal that he does. Or, I see the low-hanging fruit, I'm like, well, that guy's being an ass. You know, find out information about him, because people who tend to, how should I put this? People who tend to have negative feelings towards the police tend to have a criminal record. Not always. Not always.
I don't.
I understand.
But a lot of people do.
Let me
rephrase
chime
it.
in.
A lot of people who have problems with the
agree.
police probably have a negative attitude towards us. Would we agree with that?
No, I
do.
can't. I can't.
I do
Okay.
because I've been there.
Partly yes, but I don't have a problem with you guys at all. I mean, I am all for police. I am all for what you guys do. That's awesome. You know, keep the city peace. What I am is I'm anti-bad cop. I'm anti-tyrant. I'm anti-corruption.
I agree with you though. I agree with you.
And now, if you agree with me, if you seen one of your officers, I'm not saying that you're doing anything bad, Young, but if you seen Young going out and breaking the law, would you pull him over, cite him, take him up to your chief? Would
If I
you
saw
rat him
doing
out?
something absolutely, that's my job. My job is to make sure he's doing his job correctly.
And what about you?
Well, you're
Young?
sorry,
I mean,
right?
Yeah.
I can ask that from a sergeant and say it in the sergeant, but could you look a man in his eyes and say that you would report one of your other officers?
Yes, and I have.
Yes, you have?
And I know
That's good.
Can't be.
The other guy, he had a bracelet that's the thin blue line, just like a gang sign, and that's the brotherhood that a lot of police stand by nowadays. In fact, they even defaced the flag with it. Those people like him, you got to be careful with, because he's gonna go break the law and then make it seem like it's okay. I mean, Mesa PD not too long ago just shot Daniel for falling on the ground. It's all on video, given. But who ratted him out on that call?
Who,
Well, they
Who are
looked
you
at the
talking
video
about?
footage on that.
Daniel Shaver.
Here it is.
911 was called.
Right.
And then the body cam.
But when the officer shot him,
So what do you mean you read it now?
did any of your brothers rat him out? Because all he did was fall.
They
He
didn't
tripped
have
on
to,
his hand.
it was a shooting investigation. Every investigator was there already investigating.
So if
Nobody had to call
If
anybody and
someone
say,
called
hey,
me,
we need to file a complaint with this guy because he got in a shooting. he was in a shooting, that's an automatic complaint.
Plus there was
Automatic.
body cams.
No, and what I'm saying though basically is if someone calls me over a shooting or whatever, that calls you guys for me over a shooting, and I'm trying to give you guys whatever you want, and you shoot me, that's okay because it was on a shooting call? That's what I took out of that, because all he did was twitch and fell, and they shot him.
I guess I'm not understanding what your question is. You're bouncing across different areas.
Daniel Shaver was crying and pleading on his hands and knees, telling them not to shoot him.
Okay.
He was following every order the officers were giving him, and when his arm got tired, he literally went out and shot him because he fell over. His arm got tired. He fell over. He wasn't pointing any guns. He wasn't even in ill will at that point. It's just what I'm saying is if someone called saying that I was having a shooting, then you're gonna come to me, put me in whatever became me, and tell me to start crawling to you. And if I fall, you're gonna shoot me, even though what if I wasn't even part of that? But I'm still gonna get shot because you guys,
But
you just said it.
You're making the assumption that you're going to get shot.
I'm basing it off of
For every
your
Daniel
records.
Shaver shooting that I've heard about, I can bring up 10 cases where it's very similar, where things like that did not happen. Right after that case, we had an incident where a guy was threatening to commit suicide at a hotel. We went there, and it was very similar to that. There wasn't a report of somebody shooting with a gun, but we supposedly, according to the family, this guy, he was inside his hotel room with a gun. It wasn't exactly like the Daniel Shaver. Everything's different. The guy came out, we had him call to us, took him to handcuffs, we took him to get help.
See that,
But the bottom line with any of these cases is, you don't have to like the answers that you get,
Right.
but they are the facts of the case.
It's a matter of.
And I would ask you this, pull the transcripts from the court case, because I was in court multiple times on the Brailsford
I'm actually
Shaver
waiting
shooting.
on
Were you on that call?
No.
No?
No. So I would ask you to read the transcripts, because you'll see how the jury came to the conclusion that they did. It wasn't Mesa PD that did it. Maricopa County is the one that actually filed the criminal charges against him in conjunction with Mesa PD's homicide unit.
Right.
So that's how he even got to be where he was. And then it went to court, just like everybody has due process.
Yeah.
And everybody was interviewed in that. The homicide detective, the expert witnesses were all there. And I would just ask that you read the transcripts from that, because that will give you the whole story as opposed to just watching the videotape.
Well, yeah, that's true, and I haven't done that quite yet, but I definitely will now that you mention it. But it's more along the fact of when your officer, really the one who I was talking to, that bracelet, it's the same thing. Is he's not going to go along with his oath, and I mean, can we think about it? If I took a poll and I went and asked every officer to recite their oath, could you do it?
I couldn't do it.
I couldn't do it. I gave my oath almost 20 years ago. In about 67 days, it'll be 20 years since I gave my oath.
Oh, hell yeah.
Well, this is a good amount of time, but being a police officer, you should know what you took an oath to, just like a judge. I'm sure the judge can recite his
Well, I'm
oath
pretty sure they
because
know they took it to the
they-
Constitution.
You know what I mean? It's you took that oath, and that should be something. It's just like someone putting their hand on the Bible in court. You took that, and you should remember it. It's not something that should just be
I
forgotten.
think these guys do.
But just being able to recite an oath, does that truly mean that either you're gonna uphold it or not uphold it? It is just
Or does
words.
it just mean you remember an oath?
That's all it is.
True, true.
There's people that have read it that don't abide by it.
Yeah. There's people that read
And
the
that is very
Constitution, don't
true.
abide by
That
it.
There's
is
probably
very
people
true.
who do recite it to you and don't abide by it. Hey, what's up, man?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Yeah, good point. I mean, see, I like to have this kind of dialogue too, because I'm, and I'm open to what you guys have to say, I can tell you, speaking for myself, I appreciate you guys. You guys are kind of dudes,
And
I
I
don't
will,
think
I
there's anyone
will,
else,
I will
but
ultimately say that information is power.
It is.
Now, people who don't do this job don't obviously understand all the information that's being given to them, and you don't have to like it. There's many times where I don't like the facts that are coming out. But the bottom line is the facts are the facts. Nobody can dispute them. And there's a reason that everything is done. There's a reason that people screw things up. There's a reason that things went right. And it's not based off of what you just did that second, but it's based off of what got you to be at that 1 second.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
decades and decades of.
So-
And on the flip
Butterfly
side,
effect.
there's times like, man, I know you did it. I know you did it.
Right.
But it's not what I know, it's what I can prove.
Yeah.
And if I can't prove it, I can't prove it.
I know a lot of people have this issue. I'm always guilty until proven innocent. Well, don't have a working record. Don't break the law. I don't break the law, and I've never been convicted of a felony. Never spent time in prison, jail for traffic tickets when I was younger, but never got in trouble. And if these people don't, if they despise cops so much, hate cops so much, I'm with you on that. Don't have a record. Don't put yourself in that position where you're getting arrested all the time. Don't be a dick. You know, obey the law. It's not that hard. It's really not that hard. You know, and I'm with you on that. I just if you're gonna hate someone for a valid reason.
Right.
You know, and I'm not gonna hate on any cop. Yeah, I'm gonna push some buttons in the beginning, but as soon as I had that first dialogue with Potterson, and then
Mullen.
I
And there
made
was
a
another
decision right
one.
then and there to put the flipping off makes a PD officer. Because that right there put a whole new light, it shone a whole new light, and I was looking for that. And he knew what I wanted on doing, and that was the point at which I knew that I'm gonna meet some good guys on this force. You know, it seems like they got it more together than at least Tempe and Phoenix and Gilbert, you know. And I'm finding that more and more, that Tempe seems, in my eyes, I can only speak for myself, but to me.
Tempe, I don't know why I'm not removing any comments.
As opposed to the way any other auditor.
Yeah, that's
talks
true.
about money. I'm gonna change my whole tactic, you know. Of course I'm gonna film you if I see a traffic stop, if I see something, I'm gonna come up, you know, if you see me and you're gonna stop, I'm gonna film, but I'm not gonna be a dick, you know, because this department, to me, has shown.
Who was Robert Johnson, Tempe?
Real balls, I mean, let's get down to brass tacks there, I mean, it is what it is, and I can get down with that.
And I'll be honest with you, and maybe your viewers don't necessarily agree with this, but the cameras, when they first came out, the body worn cameras, many officers had issues with it, not because they were afraid of what John Q. Public is gonna find out,
Right.
but because it instantly flipped the script on, it takes a long, rigorous road to even go to the academy here.
Right.
A background check, integrity check, all these things. And so, like you said before, being a police officer, your integrity should be higher than most.
Right.
So that's what it gets to wear a badge around here. So now instantly your integrity is being questioned.
Right.
Now, when you call to make a complaint against me, if I didn't have my camera running, or I was one of the very few that didn't have a camera,
Right.
the officer's perception is, my department is so afraid of public perception that they're gonna lend more validity to what
We're
you're
just
saying
talking to him.
than what I'm saying, because it wasn't on camera.
Right.
Now, if it's on camera and it's disproven, then okay, I go about my way and
Right.
everybody gets to make their complaint still without any kind of recourse against people making false allegations. That was the main reason why everybody was upset
Right.
about it, is because it immediately flips the script on, this is supposed to be an honorable profession.
Right.
You know, and suddenly it wasn't seeming
Now
that
we're
way
being
anymore.
questioned, you know, you know, that's a really good point, you know, because.
I don't care, you guys can film me all day long, doesn't
Most
matter.
police departments say honor, integrity, and service, basically, you know, on the side of the cruisers and in your motto. There's something about honor, integrity, and service in every one of them, you know. And I can see where you're coming from at that point. It makes a lot of sense. Makes a hell of a lot of sense, you know, and getting integrity question. I mean, at one point I would look at it like they didn't want cameras because they might not want them exposed, but now that you say it like that, that shines a little bit of light on it, you know, and with good officers, which I'm sure you guys are, you know, like I said, I think you're stand-up guys, I can understand where that thought process comes from, as far as, yeah, we're supposed to be an honorable profession, now I'm being questioned, you know. They don't-
And understand this, it's not that officers do this for
I will
some
soon
kind of kudos.
Pikes Peak.
If we wanted a pat on the back and to be labeled heroes or whatnot, we would have been firefighters.
Right,
Everybody loves firefighters because they don't take anybody's freedom away.
right.
There's always gonna be a group of people that no matter what, hate the police.
Yeah,
Whether it's their friend told them some awesome fairy tale about how officers abused them or pulled them over numerous times, and they could be right, they could be that less than 1% that's right, that they were abused by the police. But that word starts to spread, and now you have that small pocket of people that regardless of what we do, Sergeant Calkins and I could go play soccer with the kids in the park and take pictures of each other doing it, and we could disperse it out to the media, and we could do all these charity events. That's fine. It might sway those few people that are on the line about, oh, well, we saw negative stories about the police last week, but this week they're good people. But that small pocket isn't going to care. We're always going to be a racist, a bully. What are some of the other stories? We were beaten up in high school, so that's why we wouldn't get a badge, or whatever the stories are. That's always going to be that, right? And that's the perception of some people, that where there's nothing we could do that's ever going to change that. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
And those people can be on my traffic stops. They can bring cameras with them every single time. Take no offense to this. I'm not here to try and overcome that insurmountable mountain where you're suddenly going to like me or like the police.
Good.
I'm here so we have a mutual respect. When I pull you over, you respect me, and the fact that there are officers dying every day, so if I ask you to put your hands on the steering wheel, you put your hands on the steering wheel. Once that happens and I feel safe,
It's just stupid
it's
not
gonna
to
go,
anyway.
it's gonna go smoothly from there.
Yeah.
Again, you don't have to like that I made you put your hands on the steering wheel, and there will be a million people, maybe some of your viewers that are like, screw that asshole, like, why do I have to put my hands on the steering wheel? Because they wanna push the envelope, they wanna be
Once
antagonistic.
you're lit up,
Just
you're
a heads
technically under
up.
arrest and under detention. Once you're lit up. Once you're
Right,
lit
you are detained, you
They
are
are
correct.
detained, period.
Correct.
And I'm smart enough to know this, but as a passenger in a car, if I didn't break the law, and you have no problem because I
You guys
would
good with
give
this?
my ID.
Very thing.
But,
No, you don't have to give your ID, but you are still detained.
yeah, as far as being in that car, I'm not gonna try to get out, but I'm not gonna give my ID most of the time. But I mean, you guys are,
Give me a second,
we just
I
see
gotta ask
that,
one more thing.
you know, some of us aren't really out to show the hate. I wanna show good too. I wanna show positive interactions. You know, I wanna bridge that gap. And I pushed buttons, and I found out that even though I pushed buttons, most of the officers that I have spoken with and had any interactions with in Mesa have been totally freaking cool. And so I made the decision, okay, there's no need to push the buttons anymore. I'm not gonna stop cop watching first, but there's no need to push the buttons. For me, that is. I can't speak for any other cop watcher or auditor, but for me, I can dig that. You know, I can get down with that. You know, I'm cool, you know, and now my focus will shift to making sure that if I'm on scene with a camera and you have a stop or there's something going on, I know that I don't have to pay such close attention to the police all the time. I can focus attention on whoever they've got, and if something happens, then you're what? You get my drift?
Right.
You know, and I would absolutely want to provide footage and be subpoenaed. You know,
I'm watching their
because
hands,
with
type
the
thing.
stand-up guys, I don't want you guys to get trapped up in some stupid ass shit, you know? And if my camera can prove that you guys can be exonerated, boom.
But then what would you do if you didn't ever find somebody that pushed your buttons back or was aggressive back to you? What would you guys do all day?
I'd film them.
If the
I'd film
police
them and not
became-
answer
if the
questions.
police became a godsend, what would you guys do?
There's always Tempe.
That's true.
But you
No,
guys-
we're not detained,
I
Tempe.
got to hand it to you, and I don't care if I'm being recorded, I don't care if any other auditor agrees, I do what I do for my own reasons, and I don't care what anybody else thinks of me. But
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you, I am really pleased about how you guys are represented. Almost every officer I'm talking to in Mesa is represented so well.
I can't
And
say the same.
Believe me, we do become.
You cannot say the same? No? You've had less good experiences?
Well, they don't follow their policy.
Tempe, you get-
They don't identify.
Every
Yeah.
officer I've asked is identified to me. But, you know, again, it comes back into the question of, you know, how much are we going to face?
Well, let me ask you this. You said they didn't identify. Was that like they were investigating you for something? Like you were the subject of the investigation and you asked for their information?
I sure felt like it.
So
I mean,
you're
they're
talking
getting
about
my
that
information. I mean, no, just today, yeah, but other times, no, they try to make contact with me just because of the camera. And when I ask for their name and badge number, especially on, I think it's your gang task force or something, they play this, oh, I'm big bad, I don't have to do what you say. But in reality, we as taxpayers pay your paycheck.
I pay my own too.
Well, of course, but I'm still saying,
I throw my less than 1% in there.
we help though, is what I'm saying. So that's why you guys are public servants. You're here to help us. When I ask for your name and badge number, maybe it's for an actual story. Like, okay, this officer did outstanding, I'm gonna post him up, which I do. You'll see countless videos on my thing, on my YouTube, where it shows it's good contact, and I don't just put the bad out there. There's a lot of bad, I'm not gonna lie to you, especially in Tempe. But when you don't follow your own policy, there becomes a little problem with, are you actually gonna follow the law as well? Because you pull me over for speeding, but if you're speeding for no reason, you're not code 3, you're just speeding because you feel like you want to get to the station faster, he's not going to pull you over for it. He can sit there with radar hands down on you, and he's not going to pull you over for speeding, are you?
Probably not, no.
Exactly, but if you see me doing it, you would, right?
I couldn't tell you the last person I pulled over for speeding. And we have policies that say at what point we'll pull people over, at what point we'll write tickets. I mean, it's
No, I don't drive, they've suspended my license, but I can't drive anymore for 2 years, and I wouldn't drive anyways, but, I don't drive, and if I ever did,
Y'all hear that?
still wouldn't get my license because I believe my voice travel.
Shit.
Oh, sovereign citizen.
No, fuck some. There are laws to be followed. Good laws have to be followed.
Well, let me ask you this, Daniel, back to your point real quick. So I think it's unfair to equate an officer not giving you his ID number to whether or not they're gonna do bigger things that maybe they should do. Like, if I'm stealing money from a tweaker and you're afraid that my fellow officer isn't gonna turn me in because he didn't give you his badge number. Now, I'm not saying
makes sense,
that
though.
there's some policies you should not follow or that are okay to not follow, but we're making a big leap. We're talking about stealing a stick of gum and robbing a bank. We're talking about two different things.
Not really, because if you think about it in the past part of it, you're not following your mom's rules at home, you're going to go to school and not follow school rules either. And technically the home rules are still policy, and it's just how the human nature is.
I think it's subjective. I mean, we employ people on the police department that have had a criminal background before. They've stolen, I'll be the first time to admit to you, when I was a kid, I stole gum from the Safeway on my way to school. I haven't stolen a dime off the sidewalk since.
Yeah.
You know, and I certainly don't do it here, you know, for anything. Here's the deal. Your $20 that I might find when I'm arresting you ain't worth my job, ain't worth my freedom. But I also had a negative past. I lived in a shady part of town when I was young, and I used to steal. I used to cheat on my exams when I was a younger kid. But you know what, I've been doing this job for close to 14 years, and I'm happy to say I haven't broken a law since, you know, I mean, and I don't expect anybody to post any like crying emojis on there, or whatever they're gonna do.
I can show you what they're saying.
I don't care what they say, I think it's admirable. I honestly think that's admirable. And
Is that a personal
one? That's what I'm.
Sorry, Bones.
No, you know, and that's where the transparency comes in, and I think you're telling the truth, I absolutely.
Well, it boils down to what you're made of.
I can't, it's gonna be a few minutes, I'm not calling.
There's people that grow up poor, that grow up without a father or a mother or whatever it is and live in shady parts of town, that you can sit here and say, oh, well, statistics show they're probably going to end up in that same
I'm from
situation.
the reservation, come on.
Right? But I mean, but there are those stories where people go and make something of themselves. It's about what you're made up
$40
of.
an hour for years.
You know, so, and back to the original point, no policy is okay to intentionally break. But again, let's keep it all in perspective.
Now you finally say it. I've been waiting for you to say something like that, but no. I mean, my thing is they didn't send PD over here to do that. I mean, guys in uniforms. That could have been just any random guy off the street, and that's suspicious to me. That's, I mean, main part of why I wanted to speak with you in the first place is because that's suspicious. Upon any time an undercover makes contact with civilians or whatever, like, they should have to at least identify themselves as a police officer, because I don't know who he is. I could have thought he was breaking into my car and I could have shot him right then and there. I'm not going to. Don't try and arrest me for that.
No, you can't.
Like, I'm just saying. I'm just saying, like, in persistence. Like, if I could have went down there and I could have detained him, called you guys and said, hey, this guy's trying to break into my car. I didn't know, I wouldn't have known he was a police officer. He could have even pled. I put him under civilian
That's why you
arrest.
could always call us. We get calls all the time from people that are like, hey, there's this shady car that's been sitting on my street, and we could figure out, oh, it's one of our guys, they're working on a case, or whatever else it is. People do that all the time.
Well, we're gonna avoid.
Yeah, but why should it be like that? Like, that way, those are like intimidation tactics. I'm not saying necessarily you're doing it intentionally or whatever. I'm just saying it's intimidation tactics to show that why should the public have to be scared of some car sitting on the street because we don't know who you are.
Because
I
they're
think
working,
it's,
they're working a
Most
case.
public aren't scared if there's a car sitting on the street.
well, you just said you got calls all the time.
We do get
That's what
calls,
I'm talking
but for
about in
the most part-
persistence.
But police come to work every single day, and they do that stuff every single day.
Right.
And not everybody gets a call called on them. I used to work undercover myself. Maybe once in the 4 years that I was playing close, did I ever have somebody call me saying, hey, this car's suspicious neighborhood. And I came to work every day unless I was sick or on vacation.
I mean, you were doing your job well.
Yeah, and
Well-
like, so I'd have to say most people aren't scared of it. There
No,
are
I'm
some-
just saying, like, in persistence to what he was saying, if we get calls all the time, he's making it seem like it's all the time. But it's
he
still
says we get
speaking
calls
in
all the time.
context.
It's not all the time. We do get calls on that. It maybe
We get suspicious
a couple calls
all
a
the
week.
time.
you know.
Sometimes it's our guys, sometimes it's a
Yes.
suspicious vehicle that's just been sitting down the street. So people call. Do
Oh, yeah, you're good, brother.
you want to get on this?
Your turn.
Alright,
No.
gentlemen, I got it, but, it's been good talking with you guys, I will tell you when.
All right, buddy.
Jude.
Have a good night.
Jude,
Jude?
yeah, it's good talking to you guys, man.
What happened to your finger?
1995, May 12th, we rolled 8 times at 90 miles an hour in the Ford Ranger. I died twice in my fight. Police officer, first on scene, saved my life. So I don't.
Say that into the camera for everybody to see it.
I have. The police officer, if he would not have been right there with me, I would have died.
Really?
And then an ambulance just happened to be coming down that road. This is in Tyler, Texas. Ambulance happened to be coming down right after the officer did, and the officer flagged me down too. And he was doing CPR, and he was trying to grab my hand. My face was crushed in here. My pelvis was shattered. I broke almost every bone in my body, every rib. So, I mean, I'm lucky to be here. I'm fortunate to be here. You know, like, if it wasn't for that officer, you know, and that's why I'll have mad respect if you guys put up with that bullshit at the beginning. You know, I got mad respect for you, you know. And, I mean, I see no reason to
Right.
putting you guys up. Myself, I see no reason for that.
Oh, shit.
There is some mutual
Wow,
understanding.
everybody's on. Thanks, guys.
I'm not gonna do any good to do that, because why am I gonna flip off what I'm gonna be a stand to do? You know, and I think we can bridge the gap much further without that. You know,
I
honestly
agree.
think we can, you know, create this good dialogue and be a benefit to each other as cop workers and auditors. So, I mean, we will be auditing places too, but we do research everything, so we make sure we don't go where we're gonna get risk, because although I've been in jail many times, I can't smoke in jail anymore, so.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm not going to jail no more. I like my tobacco.
Okay, one more thing before I tell y'all to kick rocks and get back to work. Just to put that out there. Going back, just to put it into your head, guys with cameras, we wish no ill will. We're not gonna, I mean, some crazy people are, yeah, but most of us you see out here, we have a camera roll. We're not gonna do something illegal. We're not gonna hurt you guys. We're not gonna go around stalking you guys. I mean,
They're not
it's a camera. It's
is a
to
camera.
make sure that you guys, and in fact, you guys should be welcoming cameras, not
Film me all day
trying
long,
to.
just till I get home.
Exactly, and that's if you have nothing to hide, that's exactly how your attitude should be. But you still see it nowadays, especially with that officer there. He seemed like he was happy, but he didn't. I mean, he wasn't happy that we were filming at all. And any undercover I see, I probably will snap a picture of him, his license plate, and I will probably put it in the video. Just because of that guy.
Because of this.
Do you happen to have information on who that was, just so I know who is sitting by my car in case I find anything that's missing?
I can tell you the name of the uniformed officer.
You can't tell me
That's
the
all I know.
undercover?
I'll just FOIA that, bro.
Yeah, I don't
I'll
have any
FOIA that.
information. I mean, I know the case they were out here for, but other than that. who
I'm
was
not
on
interested in
case,
that case.
I have
I
no
want
idea.
that detective and,
I have absolutely no idea.
if you have a report number, I'd like the report number and then, the dudes with the uniformed officer's name and badge number.
I'm not gonna have his badge number, so I'm not gonna know that.
I'll get that with the FOIA request too.
Get you old dude. Get you running 17 miles a night, cowboy.
That's too much work.
That's sciatic,
And-
man.
One more thing. Because you told him to say it to the camera what he said earlier, we don't hate you guys. All of us with cameras, we don't hate you guys. Yeah, you said there's a few, some, but you're putting it in the context of all cameramen hate you guys, but that's not the case at all. We really want to see you guys do good. We want to make sure you follow your oaths. We want to make sure you follow the Constitution.
Right.
We don't hate you for that. In fact, I love cops. I love what they do. I'm not gonna go licking no boots, following your orders if I don't have to, you know what I mean? But I don't hate you guys. If you're good cops, I love you. But if you're bad cops, that's when it starts getting, where I start don't liking them.
You need both.
It's just it's that line, that thin blue line I can't stand. I mean, defacing the flag, that's breaking flag code,
Well, cops don't make the flags. I mean,
right.
People
Well,
that want to sell
they
flags.
They use still
I
flying.
know the flag you're talking about. I have that exact same flag you're talking about. I put every time I go camping, I have it flying. And it's not defacing the American flag. To me, that flag means something else than the American flag. Not just the American flag. This is not American flag. It's not red, white, and blue. It's not even the same type of lines. It's still, you still have the 13 stripes, but they're not red and white stripes, right?
Yeah, I went through
There are some.
Well, the one I have is not. It's black, white,
Yeah,
and
it's like
blue.
black, yeah.
I think.
In
It's
fact,
not- it
I
might have some
think-
gray in it.
I just went through the uniform flag.
But that being said, it's not an American flag at all. It is a flag that I use to represent my feelings about me, myself, being a police officer, and also to that, being a citizen of the United States. It's a mixture
Right.
of both. It is not an American flag.
Let's see, right here.
Personally, I wouldn't.
All right.
use my military.
Look, if you notice this right here, that's what I'm talking about. That's
No, I got you. Yeah, that's,
defacing the flag.
I have.
And
but-
that's,
but
I got
you
that
say-
on
but
one
you-
of your
but you say-
undercover
But
cards.
you say defacing the flag. That's not defacing the flag. That is a totally different thing.
Defacing the flag.
Defacing the flag would be taking the actual American flag and
Painting it blue.
or doing damage and stuff like that to it. That's not defacing the flag. That is just making something totally completely different. It's like taking the bed off a truck and then putting a flatbed on. Maybe you could consider it defacing, but if it comes out of the factory that way, it's not defacing that truck. That's a completely different product.
So
Does
what
that-
if
does
I
that make sense to you?
took, what if I took your badge,
Yeah.
put a blue line over it, that wouldn't be defacing your badge?
If you took my badge, yes. If you took a badge, when they're making it, it wouldn't be defacing.
No.
When they made that flag, that license plate cover,
Yeah.
do you think that actual plate right there was ever red, white, and blue?
Yeah, actually, you
That
can
actual
tell.
plate was red, white, and
Yes,
blue.
and you
So
can
if somebody
tell.
painted over that to make it black, you actually think that
Yeah,
they
you
took
can
a
tell the
cover-
paint lines.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying, is
This
you can
is
see
where
that
we're
it
going to
was,
disagree.
Where'd you find
So
that?
the flag that I
it
have
was
at
on
my
one of their
campsite,
undercovers.
you think it was actually red, white, and blue.
If it wasn't a
I got
flag
it.
that you painted it, then that's different, but this plate, it was an American flag
Well, then
plate.
I can't talk to that plate, I can't see it, I can't see the paint lines.
Yeah, you really
I would
can't.
assume they
Not
purchased
in the
it that
picture,
way,
but-
but I didn't see it, you did. If it was painted over, sure, they defaced the American flag.
And that's on your vehicles, your undercover vehicles. That was actually, no, that was Mesa, either Mesa or Tempe, but it was one of the vehicles. We were at the station, and that's where I found that.
Well, I would say, I would disagree, I don't think anybody's gonna take the time to paint over a flag when they can go down to the store and buy one offline for a couple bucks.
It's kind of ghetto.
Yeah, I mean, why not just buy a professional one for a couple bucks?
I'd like to
But
get-
I didn't see that one, they very well may have painted over that.
Right.
If
But
it needs, we
it-
might
it's-
have to get there with it.
How people see that is a gang, a gang symbol, because you guys have your own symbol regarding to police.
But I would almost equate it to, they have the, like pink ribbons for, what is it, breast cancer. all that stuff. There's not a breast cancer gang. That's just a symbol
Kind
of,
of.
it's just a symbol of survivors or what,
There's
or
no
what they
Masonage
went through.
gang, you know, there are members of the Masonic Lodge, no, you wouldn't consider them a gang.
It's a symbol, you know what the thin blue line stands for, right? The separation between good and evil. That's where the thin blue line comes in. That's what that's for. It's not, it's not a Hell's Angels tattoo so that way we can document, you know, who we are as we're rolling down the street or anything else. It's a symbol of what we are and what we stand for, but.
I've talked to some officers who disagree with the thin blue line.
That's
I've
funny,
talked to
Debbie.
officers that agree with
I
it.
speak that's true.
You know, and you made it very clear.
Sorry, I'm not
what you
keeping
said
up on-
what you did, if it's manufactured.
on that.
Right.
My comments,
And
guys.
I thought of that. I had thought of
I'm
that.
watching their.
Tell you the truth, but if that, what he showed you is indeed painted over, I'm gonna have a problem with that. But if it's manufactured, it's not fake. I get
It's
that.
a completely separate product.
I get that, I hadn't thought of it like that, you know, and I'm gonna have to say it when, you know, I hadn't thought of something, if I'm wrong. Yeah, that makes sense. I just don't want it with some officers, I'm not saying it doesn't do, I just don't want it to represent, you know,
Pipes.
much of a-
It's. I'm not actually being detained. I don't know. They, like I said, I just got home and
being negative, no.
yeah.
Right. I would hope that it didn't mention that, so. But gentlemen, I'm gonna,
All right, buddy.
Oh, man, it was nice talking to
Have a
you.
good night. Stay safe, man.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
Out there, yeah. Good talking.
Good talking to you.
Appreciate it.
Here's a report number from earlier today. That's the officer Covington was the one that was, you spoke to earlier.
Okay. And this is the sergeant we're talking to. And then can I get your name and badge number too?
Sure, it's Officer Young, 16679.
16679. All right. Well, thank you for not beating me and shooting me.
Maybe next time.
Yeah.
Wait. You better say that in the camera there.
Again.
But it is what it is.
All right, buddy. Have
So
a good night.
y'all
Have a good night,
just kick rocks.
All right.
Next time. That's right. All right, y'all. I'm gonna cut this one off. Thanks everyone for the for tuning in. Have a good night.